So I've had the MXR Dyna-Comp probably for close to a year now. I got it from Tommen. I don't know how to say the name. Tommen? I don't know. It's definitely become one of the pedals that I have on my board pretty much at all times. It's one of those pedals where it kind of like EQ in the sense that you can use it with pretty much anything. You know, I just end up leaving it on. For me, I like to have it so it's just like a bit of sensitivity. So like around here, even less than that sometimes. Like I'll have it set to about like that. I'll just leave it on like that because I think it gives my tone just a bit more clarity, makes everything stand up front a little bit more, and it just makes playing guitar like way more fun. Initially in my other video where I talked about the pedal, I said that it was kind of annoying how there's only 2 knobs, but really I think that's kind of its strong point because there's no messing around with this pedal. Like you just have the volume and then you have your compression control, and that's kind of it. One thing that is annoying about it though is the fact that they put this port on the side. I'm more of a fan of just putting it on top, because I mean that's how every other pedal does it. So what the compressor does is that it brings down the loud parts of your signal and it brings up the quiet parts. And as you can imagine, that's going to be useful in some situations. For instance, what I like about compression is that like you can play your guitar softly. It'll actually pick up on those notes. It'll pick up on those notes that usually wouldn't be audible. And I also find that it's really good for recording as well, because when you're recording, you want to have a nice consistently loud tone the entire time, right? So when you have a little bit of compression added to it with the Dynacomp, I find it just ends up recording really nicely, and the guitars stand up front and they're they're nice and loud and clear, but without sounding weird or processed. One thing that it does do to your tone though is that it does introduce like a wee bit of drive or distortion into your signal, and it makes everything nice and stable and consistent. And one thing that people talk about a lot too is the increased sustain. To be honest, that's not really something I care about when I use a Dynacomp or a compressor. But I can see how other people would like it for that reason, because you can hold the bend it'll ring out for what seems like forever. Additionally, one thing I like about MXR too is that I find that their pedals are almost always incredibly well built. Like this thing is all steel, and there's nothing about this pedal that's finicky in any way. And I really appreciate that. It's not like a Behringer pedal. In case you don't know, Behringer is like the plastic ones. They're very cheap, like 20 or 30 bucks. They work good, but they're just, you can't like drop it or anything like that. But I really appreciate when something is built in such a way where it's not going to break if you drop it or if you just use it, because these are meant to be stepped on, so it needs to be well built. So there's been a ton of models of this thing as well, and this is actually my only Dyna-Comp. Something that I was interested in doing was actually getting like a studio compressor version of this. It's the one that's got a whole bunch of different knobs on it, and I think that would be cool to have. But so far, I'm pretty happy with this. I don't really need to go far beyond this. But one other compressor that is on my mind a lot, though, is the Ego Wampler, that compressor. That's one that I definitely want to get. And I want to compare and contrast these two, because I mean, those are definitely probably two of the biggest, most popular pedals. So I'd like to see what that one has to offer. But ultimately, what I like about the Dyna-Comp is that like it just kind of brings out the the inspiration, in the sense that like it just makes it a little easier to play. It makes notes a little easier to hit. It makes slurs a little bit easier, and it just makes playing fun. Like it makes you want to play more, and it makes you want to jam, and it makes you want to combine with different effects. And that's another thing about this pedal too, is that it goes well with things like filters. I mean, it can go with anything. Like you can put it before drive or even distortion. You can put it before your envelope filter. For me, I would say I use it a little bit differently than other people. Like when I see people demo this pedal, it's normally they're doing like some country chicken picking type stuff. I'm not really familiar with that style at all. Like for me, I just like the way it sounds, like straight up with just like chords and like basic messing around. Like I think it sounds cool that way. By the way, if you don't know what to practice, I recommend getting my memorization cheat sheet, my fretboard jamming cheat sheet. It's mostly all the triads all over the neck, because that's something that I've been working on for the last like 8 or 9 months. If you join my newsletter and my group, I send that to you for free, and then I send all kinds of stuff that you normally wouldn't get on the channel or on my websites. But ultimately, I just wanted to make this video almost as like an appreciation type video, in the sense that like, I just think this thing's dope, and I'm glad I got it.